What's good, family? How you live? This is Lack of Knowledge TV, and I am your host, Mikael, son of Michael of the family Brown. Welcome to the show. Today, the topic that we're going to attack today. First of all, I'd like to say peace and blessings to all my Aborigines, all the Aborigines, to all the melanated people spread throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and blessings may be unto you and yours. All right, so today, the topic is the American dream. The American dream is a delusion to the so-called black man. I repeat, the American dream is a delusion to the so-called black man. We're going to talk about the American dream today, and we're going to talk about pretty much how the American dream is just a propaganda tool to keep us all enslaved. And all the American dream is doing for the black man is having us kill each other. Okay, so we're going to attack that today. First things first, my definition of the American dream, based on my understanding of the American dream. Now, the American dream, it all starts off as a child. It all starts off when you're in school, and this is what the white man does. Since we don't have any control over the education or pretty much anything in our community, it all starts with the kids in school, the school system in America. How they brainwash you at a very early age. They begin the propaganda process to brainwash you at a very early age. They say you're supposed to go to school, get good grades. After you finish grade school, then you go to college. You go to college, you get good grades. Then after you go to college, then you get you a career. You get you a career, you make good money, get you a house, get you a nice car, start a family, get you a wicked little picket fence with a little puppy, get you a white woman, and you got yourself the American dream. Being rich, being wealthy, being successful. They say America is the land of opportunity. Bullshit. It's a land of opportunity for everybody on the planet but the Aboriginal man, the so-called black man. The land of opportunity for everybody but everybody except us. Now, this is what they do. This is the game that they play with black folks. Now, what they'll do is they'll show you a couple niggas. They'll put a couple niggas in front of you and say, hey, this man made it. If he made it, why can't you? You know, I think it's funny how, you know, anytime you see a Negro make it in society and they show you, you know, they put in the forefront, it's always the same old story. It's always rags to riches. Who was poor, didn't have nothing, grew up in the projects, you know, father wasn't around, mama was around, but she wasn't around, so I had to raise myself in the streets, and, you know, I persevered and I made it out the hood. It's always the same story. It's always the same story. When the best of us make it, you know, shoot. In my opinion, the best thing for the black community in America, they might as well have kept the segregation, because that's when the black community was at its best. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says on that one. The best of the black community stayed right here. We had the best teachers was in our schools. The best lawyers represented us. The best doctors. Well, I don't know if it was too much black doctors back in those days, but you know, the point I'm trying to make here is that the best of the best stayed right here in the community. Now, in present day of 2017, the best of us, they move out. They take us. They take the best of us. They snatch them right out the goddamn ghetto. As soon as you make it, whether you're an athlete or whatever you're doing. See, what happens is they take you, the niggas move out. They move out of the community, and they tell you, they constantly beat this in your head. They brainwash you into not wanting to deal with your people, not wanting to come back, invest in the community, invest in the next generation of young folks. Don't go back and give no money back to them niggas. They don't deserve it. All they want is they want a handout from you. They want a handout from you. Meanwhile, you're dealing with these sleazy ass crackers who ain't doing nothing but scheming up on you. You know what I'm saying? Ain't doing nothing but scheming up on you. And the movie Get Out is an excellent example of what Becky does to a nigga. And that's true. That's true. The movie Get Out happens every single day. Happens every single day. Now, instead of them actually taking physical body parts or taking the actual physical body, what they're doing is they're taking that seed. They're taking that strong black seed, that black gold, that seed, and they want to have these biracial, these mixed biracial babies, so they can continue their race, so they can keep racism, white supremacy going on. Because what's going on right now is racism, white supremacy is the white race in general is fading away. Now, I saw an article, I think it was CBS News. Had an article online that sperm count in males in Western countries are down significantly. So the white race is fading, and they're doing all they can. They're doing all they can to survive. So they got Becky. They throw Becky at our most successful Negroes. Now, I think it's sad, especially when you're dealing with Hollywood, 80%. 80 or 85, might even be closer to 90% of our entertainers are, went ahead and married the opposite race, which is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But back to this American dream thing. So that's pretty much the process. You go to school, you go to college, you get you a nice job, get you a career, you make a boatload of money, you buy your house. But then I'm gonna tell you the real story of the American dream. Now, that may be the case for these white folks, because these white folks, let's be honest, they come into the world with an advantage. They have an absolute advantage. And of course, I'm not gonna go into that because we all know that. That's nothing new. That's not fucking rocket science. White people have an advantage over niggas in this country. Okay? Simply because our people for a couple hundred years, we had to pick some cotton and pretty much build this country off the sweats of our backs that these white folks are still benefiting from today. That they're still benefiting from today. And they always say, why do you guys always have to talk about slavery? Why do you always have to talk about slavery? Huh? It wasn't me. I can't do anything about what my ancestors did to you. All right, then. Well, if that's the case, then fucking give all your money to the niggas then. If you can't do anything about what your ancestors did, if you're really sorry about what happened, if we should forget about it, then all the money that you inherited from those rich slave owners back in the day, go ahead and donate it to the niggas. And then everything will be okay. And that ain't gonna happen. That is not gonna happen. So, this is the American dream for the nigga. This is the niggas version of the American dream. I'm gonna tell you pretty much how it happens on both levels. All right, so starting with the first example of the American dream for niggas. And this may shock some of you, or because a lot of us today, we don't use logical thinking, because that's how we were trained, that's how we were brainwashed. If you don't see it, if you can't see it, touch it, smell it doesn't exist. That's how we were brainwashed in this country. So listen up. This is the American dream for niggas. All right. I'm gonna show you, and the first example of the American dream, that's the fantasy. Now I'm gonna tell you the real fucking world, the real motherfucking American dream for niggas. All right, so you go to school, starting out when you're about 5, 6, 7 years old. You go to kindergarten, you go to school. They immediately start socially engineering you, brainwashing you, telling you partial truths, half truths, and nothing but the untruth about who you are. The only thing that you will learn in school is that you are a nigga. Your ancestors were running around in the jungle, eating other human beings. They were cannibals, uncivilized, living in shit mud huts. till the white man came and rescued you and gave you Jesus Christ and brought you to the land of milk and honey. That's what you learn while you're in school, that the white man rescued you. The white man brought you to America. You were a slave. Then you were free. Then Martin Luther King came and had a dream. They tell you that black people had to drink from this water fountain and white people had to drink from this water fountain. But they didn't tell you the detail. They didn't tell you the bloody, the gut-wrenching details of how our people were treated in this country from then until now. They also will not tell you that a nice majority of the so-called African Americans that are in this country today, our ancestors were already here before the white man got here. They will not tell you that. You will not learn that in school. And we'll go into that in a future episode. I promise you, we're going to stay on course about this American dream thing. All right, so you learn all of this bullshit, all this propaganda in school. So by the time you're ready to go to college, you're already trained and you're already molded to be a good old nigga in society. Now it's time to go to college to further that training to be a good old nigga to master. You go to college, you get your degree so you can get a good job. They tell you that, I don't know the fucking specific numbers, but a percentage of people who have a degree make this amount of money more than people who don't have a degree. And that's complete bullshit. There's a lot of people that I know personally. I mean, there's a lot of niggas that I know right now. Dirty, grungy looking motherfucker. You look at them and think, look at that po ass nigga. You got niggas out here, strong brothers out here, with their own businesses, under the table, making that straight cash. You got brothers out here scrapping, brothers out here doing carpentry work, working with their hands. You got all kind of brothers out here making that $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a week under the table, straight cash, untraceable. There's brothers out here doing that. So that's a fucking illusion that you have to go to college, because college is just a waste of motherfucking time. All it does is it teaches you how to be a slave instead of how to stand up on your own 2 feet and to run your own business. Doesn't teach you that. So after that, when you go into college, and if you don't have a scholarship, 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10, you're gonna have to get a loan. And this is what happened to me. Now, I didn't know shit when I came. I didn't know shit. I was an athlete when I was coming out. So, and that's another story. But all I knew was football. I'm going to go to the pros. I don't give a shit. Let's get this paperwork over with. I signed all this shit. Didn't read none of it. Didn't know what the hell I was doing. Signing all the paperwork. You have to get a loan when you go to college. You have to get a loan when you go to college. So now you're in debt. You're in debt. Let's be modest. Let's say $25,000 or $30,000. Now you're in debt $30,000. By the time you finish college, you're in debt $30,000. Now it's time to get a job so you can start paying off this loan from your student loans off. So you get your job. Then you're searching. I have an African American studies degree. I have a psychology degree. I have an engineering degree. I have a criminal justice degree. You're searching, and you just can't find a decent job. That's because that piece of paper that you have called a college degree is just that, a piece of fucking paper. So you did all of that work. You busted your ass for 4 years, sometimes more, to get that little piece of paper that cost you $30,000 that you're going in debt every single day. More and more and more, they're collecting interest. So then you find yourself, when you first get out of college, you're arrogant, you're cocky. I have a degree. I'm just not going to get any kind of job. I want to make this amount of money. I want to make that amount of money. Then you realize that those jobs that you're looking for, they ain't for you. They're not for you. So you end up working in some sleazy call center. selling DirecTV or one of these other fucking selling a television service or a telephone service or an internet service. Or you end up working in the McDonald's as a shift manager. So now you're finally humbled. You say, all right, now it's been this long. I got to start making some kind of money. So now you're humbled. So those same motherfuckers that say, I don't want to go to college. I think I'll just work, or I think I'm going to start me a business. Those same people that you look down on and say, hey, you need to go to college to be successful. You know why? Because that's what the white man tells us to do. So that's what I'm going to do. So now you're working this sleazy job that you would never picture yourself doing, that you work so damn hard for that degree to get. You work so damn hard to get this sleazy job. So now you get married, you have a couple of kids, or even if you don't get married, you say, all right, now I'm going to buy me a house. Keep in mind, you're still paying off those student loans. So you get your house. You and your wife, you see a house, you say, oh, well, this is perfect, honey. Get your house out in a white neighborhood. House is probably $250,000. You and your wife take out that mortgage. Bam! It's going to take you 30 to 35 years to pay off that house. It's going to take you 30 years to pay off that house. And by this time, you worked your way up in the company. You made all this money. Now, you worked your way up. You say, I have experience. Now I can go out here and find me a better job, or maybe move myself up into management. So all the American dream does is push you further and further in debt. It keeps you a slave. They blow up this huge deal about college when they really don't tell you. Of course, the older ones know. The older people know. But the young kids, they don't know. They don't have an idea. They don't. All they know is that I'm supposed to go to college and be somebody. I'm going to be a good slave to society. $30,000 in debt for that. And if you don't pay your mortgage off on time, and number one, this is something that I want you Negroes to understand, because Negroes, they just, when you purchase a house or a car, when you purchase that, when you take a loan out from any bank, whether it's a car or a house, you do not own that house or that car. Even if you buy it upright, you do not own that house or that car. In this American empire, you own nothing. You don't even own yourself. You own nothing. And if you think I'm wrong, go ahead, buy a house. Don't pay those property taxes off. Don't pay those property taxes off. See what happens. It will snatch that property from right under your feet. You may own the house, but guess what? You don't own this land. White man thinks that he owns everything. How can you say you own the very earth that the Creator gave unto us? We're the aboriginal peoples of the planet. Our ancestors were all over the damn place. From here to Australia, to Europe, to Asia, China, the Middle East. Our ancestors are from all over the whole planet. And he comes here and tells our people that, but that's another story. We'll go into that another time. But to get back to this American dream. So now, you have that aspect of the American dream. Then you have the aspect of the American dream. You got the less fortunate. The ones who say, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want to go to school. I'm trying to get this paper. I'm trying to get this money, man. So most likely the father's either dead or in jail. Mama's either working 2 or 3 jobs to support her children, or mama's in the street selling her ass, which includes working, or mama's on drugs. So now let's just say John John. No, we're gonna call him John John. This is just an example. This real person does not exist. I don't want to hear no bullshit in the comment section. So John John doesn't have any true mentorship in his life. So John John goes out in the streets and start hanging out with street hustlers, who becomes that father figure to him, who becomes that mentor to him. He sees those hustlers with the nice flashy cars, with those diamond chains on. So John John also see the rappers on TV and the athletes. He says, I want to be just like him. I want to be just like Lil Wayne. I want to be just like this nigga right here. How am I going to do that? How can I get that? John John starts selling dope. John John does pretty well. John John is successful at his business endeavor of selling dope. John John goes down that particular path. Now, the whole reason that you have crime in this country, especially in the black community, is because they're also chasing the American dream. Because that is their reality. That is their American dream. See, there's two sides to this motherfucking story. The white man gives you two paths. You're either going to go down this path or you're going to go down this path. The path is already chosen for you when your parents sign that birth certificate. You either going to bust your ass, you're going to work for me, you're going to pay me, you're going to grind, you're going to pay me my taxes, or you're going to work for me on the other side. You're either going to be dead or you're going to go to prison and work for me for free doing that, making my motherfucking license plates. It's a lose-lose situation. The American dream is an illusion. It does not exist for you. Black man, the American dream is an illusion. It does not exist for you. Because we are not citizens of the United States of America. We are property of the United States of America. We were never freed. We were never freed. And what we have to do is we have to start doing our research. We have to free ourselves from this madness. And it all starts with deprogramming your mind. It all starts with deprogramming your mind, reconditioning your mind, and trying to get a better understanding of what this thing is down here. Because the American dream is an illusion. All right, we've already established that. So what's next? What do I do now? If you think about it, if you pay attention, you gotta pay attention to all this shit. When you're watching TV, you're listening to the radio, just pay attention. It's all about money. Money that doesn't really exist. Money that doesn't really exist. Because every single dollar that's printed that you got is not, in fact, money. It's what they call legal tender. It's legal tender. It's a note. It's a promissory note. So when the United States government goes to the Federal Reserve Bank to print off some more money, they say, fuck it, we got to circulate some more money into the economy. You know what I mean? Because they pretty much control it any way they want to control it. It's all a game. So they print off this money, and every single dollar bill that they print off, let's say they print off 10 or 15 trillion dollars to circulate it back into the economy. Every single dollar that they print off is a Federal Reserve note, and every single dollar has debt attached to it, has interest attached to it. Every single dollar has debt attached to it. So it's a never-ending cycle of debt. Slavery. It is no different than waking up, picking cotton for 12, 13 hours out of the day with the white man standing there breathing down your neck, cracking that whip at you. It ain't no different than what's going on today. Because if you, in this society, if you're not consciously aware of how things are in the society, if you're not conscious of what's going on, if you're not conscious of who you are and the power that you have, if you don't do what the white man tells you to do in the society, if you don't work a job to pay your taxes, you're either going to be living on the street or in jail. And who wants to be homeless, right? Who wants to be living on the street, right? So what do we do? How do we get ourselves out of this madness? What we supposed to do? Now, what we have to do is we have to start being more self-sufficient, more independent as a people. Learning how to farm, learning how to grow your own food, learning how to protect yourselves. Because there's going to be a time in this country, and time is coming soon, that this whole American empire will fall. It will fall. And that's just how the universe works. Every single major empire that ever ruled on the planet fell. And this country will fall. No doubt about it. Nothing lasts forever. And there's nothing new under the sun. The great Roman Empire fell. Egypt fell. Rome fell. And now the great empire of the Western world will fall. It will fall. And then once that happens, shit is going to hit the fan. Prices are going to be so high, it'll probably be fucking $200 for a fucking gallon of milk. Gas will be so high. Then there won't be any food. They'll cut off your food. We don't even control our food. Cut off the food. You won't be able to go to the grocery store to buy your food because everything will be all bought up. Things will be so bad. It's going to be so much crime. When there's no money, when there's no jobs, when there's no food, then there's crime. It'll be basically America is going to be a third world country. America is going to be a third world country, just like it was before. It's going to be a third world country. The same third world countries that you look down on.
Oh, God, how could they live like that?
Yeah, that's going to be you. America must pay. Karma is real. America must pay for the crimes that she's done, killing millions of people all over the four corners of the earth. So, we have to educate ourselves. Educate ourselves. We don't need anybody telling us who we are, what we are. We call ourselves Black or African American because the white man calls us Black or African American. Be honest. That's what happens. We have to get into our mindsets that all we need is the bare necessities of life. We're too hell-bent around the American dream, the illusion that I have to look a certain way, I have to dress a certain way to fit in this society. If I'm Black, I have to wear jeans and Jordans. I have to drive a Cadillac or a Charger. I have to put rims on it. That's my persona. That's who I am. Why? Because that's what's been showed to you. Do we really, honestly, let's be honest. Now, all those shoes that you're buying, those Jordans, it's just cheap junk. Come on, let's be honest. It probably cost $1 or $2 to make it. You niggas are paying $200-$300 for t-shirts, for jeans, for clothes. Listen, let me tell you something. I ain't spending no more than $30 on some shoes. That's it. I ain't spending no more than $30 on some shoes. I ain't spending no more than $6 on a shirt. I ain't spending no more than $7 or $8 on a pair of pants. And I'm going to the Goodwill to get them motherfuckers. That's the mindset that we have to get into. That's the mindset that we have to get into. Stop making these people rich. Stop making these people rich. You have to free your mind. And I'm telling you, you'll feel so free once you get out of this whole thing of stop giving a fuck about trying to impress the white man. You'll feel so much free once you stop trying to impress people, because the average Negro is they're not gonna listen to this. They're not gonna stop wearing their J's. They're not gonna stop spending hundreds of dollars on some cheap crap. But they think it's a value. They're not gonna stop. They're gonna keep it going. They're gonna keep that shit up. I'm telling you, you're gonna feel so good. Like I did. Oh my God, it feels so good to be free. And I'm still not free. Right now, I'm in the process of trying to get my way out of slavery. If you work for anybody in this empire, you're a slave. Period. But you definitely need to have money so you can pay for food and the bare necessity that you need. Clothes on your back, food in your stomach, and a roof over your head. And that's it. That's all you need. Clothes on your back, food in your stomach, and a roof over your head. That's all. That's the bare necessities that you need. Food, shelter, and clothing. Everything else is unnecessary. Everything else is unnecessary. Everything else is unnecessary. Shoot, I don't pay for cable. I don't pay for television service anymore. That's the biggest fucking ripoff. Period. The biggest ripoff. I don't pay for television, internet, none of that shit. I damn sure not spending big money on no motherfucking clothes or shoes. Absolutely not. Number one, I'm not trying to impress anybody. The only person I have to impress is myself. I don't have to impress anybody. I don't give a damn what nobody thinks about me. Of course, I don't walk around looking like no bum. You know what I'm saying? I'm presentable when I go out to the fucking public. You know what I mean? Nobody said you had to be walking around with no holy clothes, looking like a fucking piece of shit, like a bum off the street. No, that's not. Let's be reasonable here. Let's not play semantics, because I know how some of you niggas. Oh, so you just gonna walk around looking like a bum? No, of course not. Of course you look presentable, but the whole point is that you don't have to go spending hundreds of dollars on clothes and shoes. Just a waste of money. It's all about spending in this country. It's all about spending. It's all about spending. So, with that being said, thank you for tuning in to Lack of Knowledge TV. Please subscribe, hit the like button, okay? Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the little bell. That lets you know when all the new stuff is being updated and uploaded. And I would like to say peace to all my melanated brothers and sisters, all the Aboriginal people. Spread it throughout the four corners of the earth. Love, peace, and blessings may be upon you and your families. Peace, family.